Hare Krishna. We are doing Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse number 7. Yastvendriyani manasa niyamyarabhate arjuna karmendriyai karma yogam asakta sa vishishyate. On the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by the mind and begins karma yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior. So on the other hand, if a sincere person means, what is the other hand, what is the other part? That is in the previous shloka. Let me just read out the translation. That is the 3rd chapter, 6th verse translation. One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called pretender. So in the previous shloka, Krishna is telling that if somebody is posing like a sannyasi and only meditating on women, is a pretender. So that is not good. So instead of that, on the other hand, posing like something, posing like a detached person, but in the heart fully attached, that is a pretender. But on the other hand, if a sincere person is just trying to control, is not controlled, is trying to control the active senses by the mind, okay, and begins karma yoga. How we can control the active senses by the mind? By beginning karma yoga. What is this karma yoga he is talking about? See, according to our position, according to our status, we have our duties. Like, what is the position now for us? Maybe we are in the position of a wife or a mother or a son or son-in-law, daughter-in-law, boss, subordinate, whatever, as a brahmachari or a grahastha dharma or vanaprastha dharma or sannyas dharma, or we may be following the brahmana way of life or kshatriya way of life or vaishya or shudra way of life. So whichever we are, our mind is accustomed to, whatever we like, means our mind is influenced by some mode, which we'll be discussing in future, like sattuguna, rajoguna, tamoguna are 3 modes. Sattvic mode, if it is influencing too much, we will behave like a brahmana. Rajasic mode, if it is influencing too much, we will behave like a kshatriya. If it's a mix of sattva and rajas, then we will be like a businessman. But if it is more of tamoguna, we will behave like a shudra. So based on what influence we have on our mind, let us engage our mind accordingly in that particular dharma. Even a sincere sweeper, if he is inclined to sweep, if he is doing his sweeping job very nicely, that is better than somebody dressed up like a sannyasi and acting like meditating and is only dreaming of women. Instead of that, a sweeper who is sweeping the road sincerely is far better, says Krishna here. See here, on the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by the mind and begins karma yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior. Yeah. So then, what is the next shloka? It says, Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajyayo ya karmanaha sharira yatra pichate na prasiddhyeda karmanaha. Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. See, what a nice point he is telling. Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. See, sometimes people say, if you go to ISKCON, then you will give up everything and you will become sannyasi. No, in ISKCON, what Bhagavad Gita says, we teach as it is. We don't change. That's why Prabhupada named it Bhagavad Gita as it is. Prabhupada also didn't change. He just heard it as it is from his teachers and he repeated the expression as it is without changing. So, Bhagavad Gita, what it says, that's what we say. And what Bhagavad Gita says, do your duty. For doing so is better than not working, rather than giving up your duty. Say, suppose you are already in grahasthashram, we will never ask you to leave your wife and children and become sannyasi. Or we will not say that if you are inclined to marry, we will not say, hey, give up everything and become sannyasi. We will not say that. We will say, whatever you are inclined, do that, but do that in a way Krishna is pleased. That's all. Okay, do your duty, because doing your duty is better than not doing the duty. Okay, why doing the duty is better? Because one cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. See, some people, what they do, they say, I give up everything. God knows whether in the heart whether they have given up everything or not, but physically they leave their houses and they go. And after they go, if they go to the forest, if they're only meditating about where I will get food, I'm very hungry now, I can't do my meditation, I'm getting distracted, what's the use? He has to run for getting some fruits, some roots. He'll have to take something, and start digging the ground and pull out some roots and wash it and look for water. So much of work he'll have to leave, he'll have to do it. So even a snake, they say ajagara vritti. Ajagara vritti means they say you should be like a snake, a python. It opens its mouth wide and it waits. And only when the food falls, like a frog or something voluntarily enters inside, that time it closes its mouth and eats. Okay, so they say be like a snake, don't do anything. When the food comes, you eat. This is our philosophy. People say that, but here we would say that what Prabhupada is also saying is what Krishna is saying is that even a python, keeping its mouth open is work. It has to wait. It can't rest in its house, in its burrow. It cannot rest. It has to come out in a position where the things will, come and sit inside its mouth. It has to keep its mouth open and it has to wait. That's the way it is working actually. And after it comes, it can't be open. It has to immediately close before it gets out. Close and then swallow and then digest. Aren't all these work? And even if you're sitting in the forest, you are thinking, how I can do that, how I can do this. So without thinking, all alone, simply like that, you can't even maintain your body. Can you maintain? You run to the forest because you don't want to work. And you say, I will not think of anything. I will be just in a thoughtless, empty state. Thoughtless, empty state when the stomach is empty, so all thoughts will start coming. So, when the stomach is empty and if you're still going on, you can't maintain your body. So you have to work anyway. Then why do you want to give up your work? Instead, work in Krishna consciousness. That's what in the previous shloka. See, in the previous shloka, that is the 3.7, what he said? Begin karma yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment. So we all have to work. We cannot give up work. Let us all work, but do it in a way that Krishna becomes happy. Let us do every activity like you are now hearing so nicely. You should be hearing to make Krishna happy. I should be talking to make Krishna happy. Because Krishna, why he becomes happy if we hear about him? Because he knows by hearing more and more, our dirt of the heart will leave us. And if it leaves us, then we can leave this world and go back to him. And Krishna wants us there and he wants us to be happy with him. He doesn't want us to suffer here because this material world, padam, padam, yat vipadam. In every step there is a problem. He does not want to leave us here where there is full of danger at every step. He wants us back there. And we will go there only when we are ready. How do we know we are ready? If all the time, if we can be thinking of Krishna, or all the time, all the activities, if we can be doing it simply to please Krishna, then Krishna knows that we are ready. Because sitting there, they're only thinking of me, then they might as well be here with me. If I am all that they want, they don't want anything else. All that they want is to please me in their spouse, please me in their children, please me in the society, please me in their guru, and please me directly. Then why should they be there? Let them come back. And that coming back, is possible when we are so much Krishna conscious. Therefore, let us not give up work. Let us do the work, but for the pleasure of Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.